All right.
Why are you clapping? Why are you clapping?
What is clapping? Is it Tudo that is clapping? Is it Tudo that is clapping?
Yeah.
Look at this Tudo.
What are you
Is it what are you clapping for?
Nami,
When did it stop? Where they clap? Tudo. Stop. Where they clap? Tudo.
Just give me 2 minutes. I won't talk
Karigwe,
much.
just go for it.
Your first point, constitutional, suspending the constitution. The president we have today, if our constitution is not suspended, he won't be president. That's my answer to that point. Number 2, governors doing
Sorry,
well.
I didn't hear. What is this clapping?
The first point. The first
Yeah.
point. The first
What's your
point
counter?
is the
What's your counter
president.
to suspend?
That is what I'm saying. Suspending constitution. If we have a constitution today that is working, the president we have today will not be our president.
No,
because constitution.
No, that's not a good point. That's not a good point at all.
It does not on the
Yeah.
way. Maybe that.
It doesn't notify you.
Don't please hold your.
Forget. I'm still coming.
Karigwe.
Karigwe is not constitutionally, according to our constitution.
To suspend the constitution means you have zero rights. Shebi, we are still counting election results.
What rights does the Nigerian
hold on. How about election?
What rights does the Nigerian
let's go one by one. How about election victory, Karigwe?
You allowed.
I will. Okay, let me just say this. I will say. I promise you. I'll say this finally. Aside from the.
Don't worry, metaphor is still coming. Metaphor is still coming. You wait for him.
Karigwe, this is to you. We have seen where the rule of law has worked on state levels and local level, where in people's those who had actual victories were restored. Right, we've seen that. Peter Obi.
It's only because
Governor Peter Obi was the beneficiary of that now, Anambra State.
Bro, everything you're talking about.
APC was not interested in the position.
All right. We are not talking about. No interruption. Go ahead.
We are judging it. We are judging military based on what we have now, not what we had before. So Tinubu constitutionally was not qualified to run before. Tinubu constitutionally wouldn't have been the president even after running, because Nigerians, let's not even forget about everything he did. Nigerians did not vote for him. Then the second point about governors doing well. During military regime, are you hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
During military regime, no state owed salary for more than 3 years. Benue State owed their workers 3 years salary.
It depends on who the leader is. You're not getting the point. It depends on who that particular leader. What if he's a bad leader?
I stopped them from interrupting you. Let's hear him. Just take note of the things he's saying.
During military regime, although they appointed their people, none of them owed people salary for more than 3 years all over Nigeria. During military regime, my secondary school, I was in secondary school during Abacha. My secondary school had pipe-borne water. Government schools was more attractive than private school, because I could remember my mom saying that she wouldn't take me to a private school because the teachers there are not qualified. We went to government. I went to a government school till I finished school. I've never gone to any private school because we had at least a better school that we have today. Then what other points? The media gathering. Our media free today, and Pidom is in prison. Is our media free today? And more than 4 journalists
you're breaking up.
has been arrested. No, somebody kept calling me. I've busy this call twice, and the person is still calling.
It's probably Odogu that is calling you, just to stop.
He doesn't want to finish.
It's one of your babes.
Karigwe, answer your call. Answer your
baby mama. Answer your baby mama.
If our media is
answer your baby mama, I beg.
So what we have today is exactly a military regime wearing Abada, according to what Jimmy said.
Thank you. Military regime wearing Agbada.
So let me.
If we're under military, let me crown it up. If we're under military, it will be a combination of Labour Party, APC, PDP that will be fighting again. If we want to now have a regime change, it will be everybody coming together.
Jimmy, let me.
Jimmy, those things will not exist. Those parties will not exist
Odogu, wait.
under military.
I want to respond to Karigwe's media press freedom comment. Jimmy, Nisuru now, hold on. Jimmy, hold on. Let me respond to Odogu's media freedom comment. Do you recall that aside from public executions that we saw under the military, right? Do you recall that under the military, the army will literally invade offices arbitrarily? I mean, now they even look for court injunctions now. they even take the extra time to go and get a judge.
They don't look for court injunctions unless they're called out. And the DSS and the rest of them invade anywhere they want.
How many of you remember Tell Magazine? Tell Magazine with Osai Igibo, Daily Omotunde, all
remember.
Guys. How many of you remember them? What Abacha did to them? How many of you, even the current people in power,
but this is what we're talking about, Tudo. We are not saying that the military
so
is
why are you
rigged.
guys making it sound
What
like
we
military
are
is only the
saying
best
is,
thing?
let us be under military and know that we're under military instead of this fake democracy.
But that's not a solution, Dunke. That's not a solution. Let's just bring military so that we can know that we're under military. How is that a solution to our problem?
That's my point. My point is it's not a solution at all. The solution to what we're going through right now is not to go to military. That's not a solution.
The only thing we're doing right now as Nigerians,
it's so sad that I can't mute Jimmy now because I want to be able to mute all of you at once. So.
I want mute you, but if you host, I don't feel mute you. I don't know.
Can Elon Musk do a mute button that can mute co-hosts?
The one we co-host mute host. We'll push for that.
Jimmy, what are you even talking about? Like
Sergeant
Roger,
what's what is going on right now? Yes, can't you see what is going on now, Tudo? And DSS they are entering any.
But Jimmy, what you guys are saying is you are basically suggesting to chop off our heads, all because we want to cure a headache. The military is not the solution. The solution.
And your own suggestion is what?
The solution is to fix what we have. Let's continue to fix it. Let's continue to push back. No, we push back. If you suspend the constitution,
is that not what Pidom was doing?
Jimmy,
wasn't he not pushing back?
If you suspend the constitution, which is what the military will do,
they have already suspended the constitution.
No, because the law still works in certain cases in Nigeria. We can still sue. Can you sue the military?
Unless they don't have an interest in that
Can you sue the military? Can you sue the military in any case?
Why would I sue military? I already know they're military.
Then how would the country progress if the military leader is a bad leader?
The constitution is already suspended.
How will the country progress if the military leader is a bad leader? So we're just assuming that it's only under civilian rule.
You are the mercy of one man. You are the mercy of one man. Of one man.
One person.
One person. One individual.
In the same sentence.
Tudo, whose mercy are we under? Is it not Tinubu's mercy? We are the mercy of Tinubu for crime. You are talking. We are the mercy of one man. We are under the mercy of Tinubu.
So you don't have state governor, Jimmy. You cannot hold your state governor responsible for what happens in your state.
Who are actually doing something.
What state governors?
Whose ring are they kissing?
Are they not all
state governors? Whose ring are they kissing?
Exactly. Whose ring are they kissing? Whose ring are they kissing?
Those state governors.
We have photos of them kissing rings. You are talking state governors.
They are all generals to Tinubu. Tinubu is the grand field marshal. Grand field marshal. All your governors. They are
anyways, I'll suggest that we give Metaphor chance to
speak. Let's allow Metaphor to
but after Metaphor, I have a counter for Karigwe.
It's not a gentleman.
If military, Tudo, let me say this. If military is in charge, Sheriff.
I heard my name.
Protection.
Nobody called you Karigwe. Hold on. Nobody called you. We already know what you
I said I have a counter for him after Metaphor.
See, if military take over, there will be security. I know that for a fact. And you see that one alone.
Jimmy, that's not true. That's not true. There is no automatic security when military takes over. It's the same military that Boko Haram is kicking their ass in the north. It's the same people.
But Boko Haram
it doesn't change all of a sudden. It does not change all of a sudden.
All the regional clashes we had under military called Ife and Modakeke, Ijo and Shekiri. All of those guys.
Thank you.
It's like
what are you talking
A
about?
clash
Security is
not
not
Boko
settled,
Haram.
Jimmy.
It's guaranteed not the military. It's
It's
not
not
guaranteed.
Boko
You guys don't
Haram.
understand my point. See, my point is this. In military day, the reason why you think they are finding it difficult not to be able to conquer the bandit and whatnot is because of the general. Only the money they are meant to give, they are meant to disburse to buy the equipment, the weaponry, the arsenals needed. They keep using the money to build house, to buy houses, to buy wristwatch, and they ended up, putting them as ambassadors in different.
You think it will end once
Jimmy,
the
Jimmy,
military becomes
Jimmy,
the ruler?
Guys.
And you think this will end?
Let's respect.
Guys,
Let's
please,
go. Let's go
Jimmy,
to.
Jimmy, just I want to add one point to
It's not the
yours.
generals that we. It's not the generals that will take over now. It's these little ones that will take over, and they know what
Okay,
to do.
let's.
And another thing,
ones are hungry
Jimmy,
for power.
a military regime will see it as an insult that there is an insurgency challenging them.
Say you understand.
It does not mean that they can quench it immediately, carry
All
away.
right.
That's not a point.
Guys, hang on.
Seeing it as an insult does not mean you can end the insult.
Let's hold on.
Please, let's let Metaphor talk.
Let's
Metaphor can
allow
speak.
Metaphor, and after Metaphor, Jimmy. After Metaphor, I don't know if you guys have seen the
one that started all this wahala. What happened to my own counter? I'm writing it down. Metaphor.
Okay, so after Metaphor,
after
Metaphor, you will go. And after that, I don't know if you guys have seen the. We're going to go back to Jimmy's. Jimmy is a very famous somebody now. We are so honored to have him on this space because his name is, it's in the heads and minds of Nigerian authorities. Apparently, David Ondain had mentioned Jimmy's name in an interview, and in fact, he did more than that. He suggested that Jimmy had some inner connections in government. So because of Jimmy's tweets, so Jimmy's going to address that issue for us. I asked him if he wanted to talk about it. He said, "Sure, no big deal. Let's put it out there." So, anyways, Jimmy is living rent free now in the heads of some people in our government back home. So we're gonna address that issue. So let's go Metaphor, Dunke, and then Jimmy takes it from there. Metaphor, go ahead. Metaphor, are you there? Is he speaking?
Metaphor just left his hand up and
God
went to
don't
sleep.
catch Metaphor. Metaphor.
Left his hand up and went to
I
sleep.
don't scare Metaphor. Come out for you.
Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Now we
God
can.
knows what he wants to talk about.
Now we can.
Okay. Well, thanks for giving me the mic again, Barnes. I think we, as a people, should learn from our history, and we should try not to make the same mistake we made in the past. I think it's the same doctrine that we try to preach when we say we are trying to fix a problem, and then we go using the same old method, to try to fix a problem. To try to fix a problem, we have to use an entirely different method. If the old methods we have used before had not fixed that problem. So, I coming straight out from a military background, raised in the barracks. I know all the workings of the military. I know that the military, to an extent, brought Nigeria to this pass. Many of the problems that Nigeria is suffering today were actually planted and rooted by the military government. So to that extent, I don't think the military has a solution to Nigeria problem. I think eventually Dunke and Jimmy will come around to where I am. It's just a question of time. They will eventually come around because you see this Nigeria problem. I have diagnosed it in the best way that I can. Jimmy, hold on,
Come around where?
Jimmy.
Come around where? No, I want to know now. You said me
and I will
clarify
where. I'll clarify where you will come around to. You will see. Okay, you will eventually see. You will come around. It's only a question of time.
Jimmy,
it's only a question of time. Many of our folks eventually came around when they find out. And there's nothing wrong with that. Some people may find out something. Some people need some time. Eventually, they'll figure it out. But here's my solution to Nigeria problem. And when I say this solution, everybody's going to get angry. He is a this, he is a that. Some people have really called me, a secessionist. My problem with Nigeria is that Nigeria is not properly united. And that's some of the reasons for all this, rubbish that we have. So my only proposal again and again is that Nigeria should cancel this rubbish they have and be properly united. Where a proper union that checkmates all of this kind of corruption, has been finally checkmated. See, the people that are living Nigeria like this know that this is their only way to continue to rob the country dry. They know that if they sort Nigeria out the way other crimes in the globe have sorted their regions out, it'll be even hard for them to embezzle. So they will fight to make sure that Nigeria continue to remain like this. Yeah. So my folks, I want to just appeal to you guys to reason with me just for a bit. Get to see what I'm saying. Yeah. Nigeria, the way Nigeria is the reason Nigeria is like this. It's the reasons why the likes of Tinubu is now the president. And the reasons why many of these corrupt people are thriving in Nigeria is because of the structure. So let's just take that structure and throw it away and create a structure that works. Even that can even clamp down before they even think of even embezzling. It'd be very hard for them to. Yeah, I'll give you a simple example. You see this whole center thing, yeah? Imagine this whole center thing was insignificant. Just imagine it was insignificant. Not just by what we are saying, that it was even insignificant by our laws. As in, where you really need to be rich is to become a private investor, a private business person. As in, government official is a broke business. Just imagine that for a minute. Yeah, you think you have all these people wanting to become government officials. But they will run far away from it. Yeah. And you really think our current system can make that happen? Government, being a government official is your path to wealth in Nigeria. Yeah. It's a structure that makes that, possible. So if we dismantle this structure and create a proper structure, those kind of things will not work anymore. Yeah. But anyway, I just wanted to say this though. This is the reason why I raised up my hand. Let me just.
All right, Meta, a quick question for you, right? So you talked about the structure and throwing away the structure and all that. Now, in a case where, all effort to throw away this structure is not working and the structure remains. So how do we bring about a reset? That's the question. How do we reset Nigeria in a case where this structure is not easy to be thrown away? Those benefiting from the structure don't want to do anything to discard the structure, and the citizens' effort is not enough to bring about the kind of revolution that would, discard the structure. What next? What should we do? How do we reset Nigeria?
Meta, before you answer, let me just add to that question. In a situation, this kind of situation that is our reality today, that we have a old military man as our president, because I won't call him a civilian man, as our president, that clamps down on every effort to bring about change. What are we supposed to do? Because our constitution as it is stands suspended. Rule of law is not being obeyed anywhere in Nigeria. So what are we supposed to do?
Okay, well, I'm not an expert, in everything really. So don't particularly think that I can give you any expert advice. I'm sure some of you are even more, you even have a more deeper understanding in these things than I do. But I know that at this point in Nigeria, we might be prepared, to sacrifice, beyond what we are even thinking right now, because the opposition that we are against, are determined to even, slaughter all of us to continue to maintain their greed. Yeah. So at some point, I think we just have to be prepared, to make sacrifices. Yeah. So, I'm prepared to join anything that would, of course, any legal process that would help, change Nigeria. So in any way that I can be involved, I'll be happy to be involved in it. I cannot provide any solution because, like I said, I won't say that I'm an expert in everything. Yes, I'm a legal expert. I've been doing that for 17 years, but I might not be an expert in many other areas.
All
So
right.
yeah.
I can answer that
All right, let's
question
move on.
quickly.
Where do you want me
Can I
and
answer that
Duke to come
question?
about?
Okay, Jimmy. Eventually, you realize that my clamor for a union of ethnics is the best solution for Nigeria, and I know that many folks in this country. But Jimmy, wait, Jimmy, hold on, Jimmy. Like I said, I know you already know where I'm going. Yeah, people, Jimmy, look, Jimmy. In 2019, I voted for Kingsley Moghalu. In 2023, I voted for Peter Obi. Do you know why I did that? Somebody had asked me that question before. I said, "Oh,
You have said it many times, metaphor. You voted that way because you believe that it was a
no. Yeah,
metaphor.
don't get me. Besides that, let me give you a clean example. The recent European Union election just went by, and we saw a chunk load of Germans voting for a Slovenian European president, a chunk load of French people voting for a Czech European president. And do you know why? It's the same reasons why, if Nigeria is a union, I will vote for an Igbo man to be president. Why? Because we are a union of sovereign countries, and our economic prosperity really does depend on our sovereign, entity, not particularly that European center or that union center. Okay, so I've always looked at Nigeria as a union, and that's really what Nigeria ought to be. So it does not really matter who's in that center.
All right.
Yeah, it's our region that matters.
Man, metaphor. Let's. Yeah, I don't want to go too far into. I know we've had that conversation several times, but I don't want us to go too far away from what we're talking about at the moment.
Yeah, sorry for digressing there.
No, it's fine. But I hear you loud and clear. I hear you, and I do agree with you actually.
Always digresses. That is his MO.
No,
metaphor,
something's bound to happen at some point. But let's maintain the current conversation. Don't care. I was coming to you next, so you go ahead.
Please, in maintaining the current conversation, we are not saying that the military is like some sort of holy grail solution. What we're saying is, what is the difference between the military and what we have now? I am not seeing a difference. This is what I'm saying to you. I'm not saying, oh, if we get the military and Odogu, I don't know at what point we said, oh, if the military comes, they can immediately solve all their problems. Listen, mates, the problems that they've put in Nigeria are decades to resolve.
So what's the need to change what you have now? If that is it.
So the change for me, is if we're in a military situation, there are sanctions involved. I don't think you understand. Did you ever ask yourself, why did Tinubu bother to go through all the farce of the elections and everything when they know they're going to rig it? Because there is sanctions if they don't. They have to keep that facade of being a democratic nation to be entitled to all the IMF loans and all the extra loans and all the invitations in places and even being able to buy property legally in their names. But if they are military, those sanctions apply. Ask yourself, what did they go through all that facade of going through elections when he already knew that it was a Milokan?
Because he legitimizes you as a democratic government.
Please.
Yeah.
But what we've legitimized is a military regime. But they are wearing civilian clothes. Your argument about a constitution being suspended, I say our constitution might not be formally suspended, but it is definitely suspended and non-existent because nothing gets followed in that constitution. There is no rule of law. There is no justice system. That place is the very definition of Sodom and Gomorrah. anything goes, everything goes, everybody does whatever the fuck they want. Me, I'm saying, let's kukuma do military. Yes, the rest of us know that we must shut up and we must not talk. But do you know what? We will shut up and not talk because we know we're in a military regime compared to our so-called civilian regime that tells us we have freedom of speech, and then they go and pick up a person in a hotel room and he disappears for days. How is that different from a military rule? How? How is it different? If David hadn't blown the whistle, God knows what would have happened to that guy. You've read the stories. He was starved for what? 10 days? Handcuffed. Different from the military. How? You say Rufai can talk. What the fuck can Rufai talk? How many times have we seen them have to take Rufai off the TV for a while and they say he should go on a break? Do we not know that they sanction them if they even interview somebody that even says practically what we consider nothing? Is that actually freedom of speech? Nigerians are living in a delusion. You are not in a democracy. You are in a military rule. It's just that those military people are wearing civilian clothes. You have no rights and your life means nothing. What is the value of a Nigerian life in Nigeria? Zero. You are worth nothing. A cat in London is worth more than a Nigerian in Nigeria. In fact, a cat is worth thousands more than a Nigerian in Nigeria. You are worth nothing. You have no rights. You have nothing. This democracy is a delusion. Your constitution is a delusion. Rights, none. Let's face it.
All right, Tudo, can I go ahead?
Yes, go ahead, Odogu.
All right, thank you. So yes, I agree with some of what Junke said. Right?
Let me talk.
Okay, sorry, Jimmy, go ahead.
Hold on. Oh, Jimmy, I didn't know you were speaking.
Now Jimmy the talk.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I thought you wanted to quickly chip something in so that we can now go to the.
Yeah, I wanted to mention something that Junke.
Yeah.
You know, because I feel like it's better if we kind of balance the conversation, especially when it has to do with the military regime thing. So I do understand, and trust me, we're on the same page on a lot of these things, especially what we're going through as a country right now, right? We know that there's a lot of the things that are happening now that happen in the military regime. Now, but the fact that we have some of the things that happen right now, that are happening right now in the government, happening in the military regime does not mean that this is a military regime. That's just the point that I want to put there. Because we know that in an actual military regime, there's no constitution. All right. So that's in itself lets you know that whatever we are doing, trying to butter it up, trying to manipulate your way through the constitution, trying to slam lawsuits on people, trying to put penalties, those things, those processes will not be there during the military. It's just a pronouncement. It's as simple as just an instruction and it gets done, right? Now, the major point I also wanted to make, I read in the comments, I think it was Official South Dream that said, the military that we have now is not the military during Abacha's regime. The soldiers that we have now, some of them are repentant Boko Haram members. This is the point that we're missing. You could have one of those people assume this position of leadership under military regime. Do you think they will not come after you one by one? It's dangerous to think that if there's any military person or any military dictatorship that is going on in a country, that it will be better, or that you will even have your own freedom to even sleep. I know we're talking about freedom of speech. Before we even get to freedom of speech, freedom to even be alive, first of all. Think about it. What if the person who becomes the military leader at that time is somebody who has an appetite for blood? Just to satisfy himself, he just goes after people just for the sake of going after them to kill them and things like that. And you cannot speak up the way you can now, in as much as things are not exactly 100% how we want them to be. So that's what I want us to like be guided, that our solution or the solution to what we're going through right now is not the military. What we're going through right now is not even military. Some of the things that we're going through happened under the military regime, and I agree. But under military regime, it will be a lot worse than what we're seeing right now. So please, let's work on like, and just to move on to answer Karigwe's question, what should we do right now as opposed to asking for military takeover? What I suggest that we should do right now is to continue to speak up. Exactly what we're doing. The little freedom that we have now to speak up, no matter how many people are threatened, no matter the list that they put you in, no matter what name, number, because I'm thinking the way I'm looking at it, I'm probably my name is number 7 on that list. I'll just wait for Jimmy to release it. But no matter what name or what number that they put your name on, continue to speak up. Because if we keep doing this, at one point, it will even go out of fashion to be a corrupt leader in Nigeria. The reason we're having this is that majority of Nigerians, even our mentality before we even ascend that position of leadership, is corrupt. But the more we effect these gruesome, time and painstaking reforms by talking, sensitizing the youth, sensitizing everybody, one thing we're also doing that we are not recognizing is that there's a mentality change. There's a mentality shift among the people that you're speaking to. So it's not just about that person who ascends the position now or Tinubu now. It's also about who becomes the president in the future. What would their mentality be like? So that's why I suggest that we should continue to speak up. We should continue to protest. We should continue to do what we can do now, painstaking as it is, to fix this. That's my suggestion.
All right.
Just can
Thank
I
you.
answer Odogo
No,
quickly?
no, sorry, Karigwe, hang on. We gotta go to Jimmy now. We'll come back to this. We'll come back to this, I promise. Let's go back to Jimmy. For the expose that Jimmy has for us. Jimmy, I don't know if you want to share the video on the jumbo or not.
Yeah, it's a jumbotron actually.
Okay, so go ahead and tell us the whole thing about the whole thing.
Yeah. So I'm gonna jump on that for a second. But let me just say this, so I'll take my concentration off it. This whole military thing. So what I did just now is I searched for, everyone can do that as well. Everyone can do that as well. I quickly searched for the benefit of democracy. I did that just now. Benefit of democracy. And it goes as follows. Okay. Individual right. Ask yourself.
Who is meeting Jimmy now?
Jimmy, are you there? Jimmy, can you hear me?
People are attacking what he's saying.
Jimmy, we can't hear you. We can't hear you, Jimmy.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Do you want to remove your earpiece or headphones?
I'm not using earpiece. It's the
okay, we
people
can hear you.
You are Nodogu. The people you are sending to me.
Jimmy, we are on your team. Jimmy, we are on your team. Relax.
So
today we and you know they're the same team. Oh.
We're not gonna do an enforced disappearance on you. We don't have that kind of resource.
So real quick, guys. Benefit of democracy. Individual human rights. So I'm gonna list all these things. You can.
Jimmy, I thought you were going straight to the.
I will.
Okay,
I just want to note this down for people to think about it. So benefit of democracy. You can list these things out and ask yourself: are you actually benefiting these things under this current administration? So it goes: individual rights, equality, peaceful conflict resolution, accountability, citizens' participation, quality of life, economic growth, human rights. Are you benefiting any of these things? These are meant to be the benefit of democracy. And the benefit of a military rule is military regime provides sense of continuity, stability, strict rule of discipline, and protection and preservation of the sovereignty of that country, which is a fact. I mean, during Buhari time, we have war against indiscipline, whereby if you want to buy food, you have the decency, you have the mentality of queuing on the line. We need all those things back. But anyway, that's just by the way. Back to the topic. Enforced disappearance. It is common in not just Nigeria, Africa to be precise. It's common in Africa, and it's getting nastier by the days. Okay. As I said earlier on, I did a quick research, and by the way, if you're South African, Ugandan, Zimbabwean, Ghanaian, Kenyan, come up, because this enforced or forced disappearance occurs across Africa. Okay, and from my findings so far, the ones that actually happened in Zimbabwe, couple of names. We have Nelson Mukawa, More Blessing Ali, Pitie Kaseke, Ken Ankala, Mbalila, and Kadua. Different people, different names. And what they actually did, most of them are political activists and journalists, and all they did was spoke up and wrote against the current government. And what happens? They just disappear. It's not just a Nigerian thing. I mean, we have Daddy Yata from Kaduna, and we have a couple of people that have been adopted. They're not arrested, got adopted. Okay, so it is getting serious, and it's getting dangerous. And this act is actually what led to the argument of military or no military. Okay, because the fundamental human right is being questioned. Are you practicing democracy right now, whereby you cannot even speak up your mind? You can't say what it's on your mind. You can't speak the truth. You can't speak against the government. It is wrong. Absolutely, it is wrong. So, arrested this guy on the 5th. They arrested him on the 5th of August, and they kept it on a low key. Okay, they arrested him in a hotel he was staying, and I got to realize, I think the manager of the hotel called the DSS to give him out. So they arrested him, and he was in their custody for over 2 weeks until they reached out. Well, one of them reached out to David, pretending to be someone from PDOM, telling David to log into the account so he can carry on with the conversation. He can carry on with tweeting, so they would think he's not the one, because he already told them that he's not the one operating that account. So by the time David keeps posting tweets from that account, he can justify and say, you see, no be me, no be me get the account. Just a way of letting them know that it's PDOM is someone else. But David is not a kid. He understood something wasn't cutting it, which I understood immediately. He mentioned that. So when he made that tweet, I can tell you categorically clear, there is no doubt in my mind that they might have killed PDOM if David did not post that. That's the honest truth. They might have killed him if David didn't post that thing. What that thing meant, the moment he posted it, what it meant was for them to come out and acknowledge that, yes, this person is in their custody. And that happened. Because the moment they came out, the moment David posted it, they had to acknowledge that it's in their custody. So now you arrested someone since the 5th. Again, this is not a military rule. Courtesy demand them. The Constitution demands them to actually let people know he's been arrested. Not until David blew out. That was when they came out. Officially, constitutionally, it's meant to be 48 hours for him to get a lawyer, or they probably sue him and do whatever they want to do with him. But that wasn't the case. This guy was not arrested. He was kidnapped. He was adopted. He was enforced to be disappeared. They took him out unwillingly. They didn't read out his memorandum rights. They didn't read out anything to him. They just took him, whisked him away, and blindfolded him. Tossed him in the corner for people that are scared of closed enclosures. For people that are scared of darkness. You know what it is for you to be kept in a very small place with handcuffs on. No food, nothing. In the dark. They're messing with you psychologically. They're messing with you morally and mentally. They want to break you from within. I'm guessing they didn't spill out anything and they want to crack him open. And that was why they did what they did. They reached out to David. And the moment they did that, one of them acted as if, is the person P-Dom trust, and they're handing the account to David so David can proceed. And for people that are, netted about how this thing works, when you log in to your Twitter account or any social media account on a new device, it automatically sends an email to the known email of that account that there's an attempt of someone trying to log into your account. It will send you the details of the kind of device they're trying to log in from. It will send you the details of the location they're trying to log in from and the time precisely they're trying to log. And the time, if it's GMT, if it's EST, it will let you know. So from there you can actually pinpoint the zone the person is. Luckily enough, David was using a VPN. But the moment he logged in, they knew what they're doing. And the normal thing for him to have actually done is to log them out, right? He wanted to change the password. But guess what? The moment he tries changing the password, they're going to send you another email with a code. How are you going to get the code? So I'm guessing the person probably sending the code to let him, get into change the password rather. So to him, it probably takes, he has logged them out, how they change the password and everything. I'm certain the code they sent him is probably how they actually got around his device. Now, there's something most people don't understand about the devices we use. Something called IMEI number. That's the identification number of the device user. You see, with that number alone, they can track him. With that number, they can do anything they want to do. The moment they have that number, it is the biological link between your device and your connectivity. They can actually connect with you with that number. It's equivalent to your VIN number of your car. If you have any car from maybe 2010 upward, especially the ones they're doing from 2019, 2020, 2021, with the VIN number and the right equipment, you can control that car remotely. You can start it, you can drive it, you can do whatever it is you want to do. You can stop the brake, you can do whatever. Even if the person is driving, you can put the car. You can do anything you want to do with the VIN number. So with the IMEI number, they can actually track the phone. They can have access to the phone. And that was when he kept, making tweets. Sorry? Sorry?
No, because we're stretching.
Sorry, don't get your breaking.
You're breaking up. We can't hear you, Duncan.
Yeah, we can't hear you. The voice is cracking. Network probably your mic.
Yeah, Duncan, we can't hear you. Go ahead, Jimmy.
Yeah, we know you're talking, but you're cracking.
Go ahead, Jimmy.
So, yeah. So that was when David started noticing, pop-up messages, people sending him code to, do one or two things. Just obviously they're trying to hack his Telegram, WhatsApp, and other accounts. So I'm pretty sure it changed his device. That's the best thing to do, actually. That's the best thing. So what they did at that point in time, the moment they had access to the account, they took time. They took days for them to lay down a trap on how to get David. They actually going all out for David. But then again, they are after the fact that this guy, P-Dom, posted out some private and confidential information. A lot. Okay? Now, these informations are so important that it's a breach of national security. And they need to figure out how it leaked. By the way, that's one of the reasons why the NIA guy resigned. because people close to him, that happens to be Northerners, actually they are involved regarding this, but they might not, show you they get sacked or whatever. But yeah, a lot of people were involved, but the guy fitted in to resign. He might consider it honorable, but yeah, he had to resign because it was under his watch those information got leaked. So now what they needed to do, and it could be a situation where even one of their aides or PAs saw those things on their phone, they took it, they sent it to Pidon. So what happened was, within the 2 weeks they had access to this guy's phone, cut through his account, specifically his DM. Everyone that interacted with that guy, they went through all the conversations. People that were sending personal informations to him about people that duped them, people that collected money from them, including one of Oni of Ife and everything. They were doing a lot just to get those involved. And all the people that were actually sending private and confidential messages to Peter, they are going after them. They are going after them one by one. So they got to realize that some of them are in Nigeria, some of them are in diaspora, some of them are were in Nigeria before, but they've moved out of Nigeria. So they placed them on watch lists. They placed them on watch lists with the immigration and the custom. So what now happened is, the ones within Nigeria, they went through their accounts. They went through their Twitter account, and from there they searched their background, got their names and everything, and they started looking for financiers, because what he did was, there was a point in time he did end EFCC. I'm not sure if people remember that. He did end EFCC, but a lot of people didn't really turn out. So a lot of money went through his account. Okay, a lot of money went through his account, through his crypto as well. So when they started talking about financiers supporting or financing the project, financing the protest rather, they were looking after some people that were sending money. So they figured out people are sending money to him. So right now that they've apprehended him, people that he had released their documentations, including police people, the Oni of Ife and all those people. It wasn't because of the Oni, but people that were involved in his matter now start showing up to sue him to do any form of madness. But right now they are not even allowing him to see any lawyer. They are not interested. Basically, he's a political prisoner right now. He's a political prisoner, and this is me just being realistic. And the fact that when they started combing through his record, I didn't send him any personal information or any confidential information, but the fact that they keep going after people that sent in personal information, that got me worried a lot. So I made about it, okay, because a friend actually sent me a screenshot of list of people that are on watch list. So when I got that list, though it was a little bit blurry, but when I got that list, I managed to see some names on it. So I contacted a friend I used to know back in the days to figure it out. So my name is there. My name is on that list, by the way. So, but I got to find out, was it yesterday? Thereabout. My name's on that list. And when I saw the other lists, it was first name, second name, passport number, and description of what you're wanted for. So it could be fraud, it could be drugs, it could be I don't know, murder or whatever. But yeah, the names are there, and what they did, they actually put what they did there. So at the entrance, when you want to go back to Nigeria, they will pick you up. Like immediately they will pick you up at the airport. And these guys are now officially, well, I think it's a constitutional thing. They have records of airlines, and the airlines give them updates. I think they have a database they share together, but they give them updates regularly for them to know. So the moment you book your ticket, you're going to Nigeria with your full name, by the way, you're already red flagged that you're coming in. So they know. So they'll be waiting for you. So I see they're already stationed at the airport waiting for you. Oh no. The moment you book your ticket, you paid for your ticket and everything, it goes into their database that you're going to be on the flight going to Nigeria. So they have access to that. They know the date and time you're going to be landing. So they will now, station people there at that point in time waiting for you to get there. So the moment I realized that, I knew, damn, they are now cracking down on people. They are going after people one by one. So I made that tweet, and I had the conversation with David afterwards, which was private. But the next day when I woke up, I got a couple of messages from people that are worried that they sent this guy some information. I was just shocked with the amount of messages I saw. But there's a particular one that struck me, and I made a tweet about it. And it goes, "Good morning. Please, I saw the post you made about safety of people that have scent sensitive." Okay, by the way, before I read that message out to people, let me first let me try and see if I can read out the tweet I actually made that very day, just to call people's attention to it. So the tweet I made says, right. So I said, if you send Pedoman Nigeria any classified information via Twitter DM, because I think he did most of his interaction with people Twitter to prevent, him getting his number known and all that on WhatsApp. So most of his, exchange of private and confidential exchange was done on Twitter. So if you send Pedoman any classified information via Twitter DM and you are in Nigeria, make yourself invisible ASAP. Do not try to flee the country. Your names are with the immigration already. Just disappear. So me telling them to just disappear and letting them know at the same time, do not try and see if you want to leave the country by road or by plane or whatever, because your names are already all over the place. They know you guys, okay? So, but you can disappear to just wind things down. So for you to do that, I went ahead to give tips based on the information that I've gotten and based on how I figured out they've gone after people, they've been able to track them down. I gave those tips on the tweet. I said, take off your SIM card, place it where you'd like to divert them to. So it could be a situation whereby if you take out the SIM card, if you break it, they might get the signal that you're maybe trying to run, and they might, zoom in on you. But you might want to give them the impression that you're still using it. So you can deliberately abandon the SIM card where you probably want to divert their attention to. And the moment you do that, they can go there, get diverted, and you figure out how to move on. So take off your SIM card, place it where you like to divert them, or throw it away, right? Change your abode, where you stay, relocate immediately, change where you stay at that moment. Stay away from family and friends. These are people that they can actually apprehend, and in exchange for you to come to replace. And they use this as a form of getting hold of you, because it's emotional for you to have a family member go through that because of what you've done. So and stay away from family and friends. And I said, another phone without connection to the internet. I mean, all this Nokia 3310 and whatnot, not to go on the internet, because you'll be tempted to create another account on Twitter and all that. It's a way of you not knowing the amount of information they know about you and how they might be able to track you. But for you to be able to reach out to people you like, people you care about, you can still call them without doing WhatsApp or video call, okay? Because they can actually apprehend your family or friends and use them to bait you, which might end up in a very nasty way. So try and change your look if you can. And I didn't emphasize on that, but the whole point is, if you're a bearded person, you can try and shave. You know, some people have this commitment of not shaving and just keeping their beards. You might want to consider that, because it will have a drastic change of look on you. And if you don't have beards, you might want to start growing more beards. You might want to dye your hair, do something to look different. Absolutely, because political prisoners are considered to be, again, what we have under the military rule. So people that just joined the space are now trying to understand the reason why we started that argument between military and democracy. Military, and because every single thing going on right now is meant to be under military. So, but if we have a military, we will know we are under military. But we cannot claim that democracy, but we're being treated as if we're under military. So just come out to tell us, we know we're dealing with military, and we just shut the fuck up. We know not to tread, some certain, areas and all that. So Nigeria is a captured state, and I wrote that in capital letter. There are gonna be more enforced disappearance. Okay, so what this guy does is, it's a typical playbook. All right, they want to spread fear inside the people. They want to make the people scared of their lives. They want to paint a picture in their minds for them to stay. It will get to a point in time that Nigeria will become North Korea. Like, if you see Tinubu's picture, you have to just salute. If you don't salute, they might call you out. Someone might just report you that you saw the picture, you didn't salute. Like, if you hear them talking about Tinubu, you just do fem. It will get to that level, because you're dealing with an authoritarian in disguise of a democratic leader. There's nothing democratic about this guy. It's a captured state. It is a captured country. There's nothing you can tell me about Nigeria right now. It is totally captured. That country is now an empire, and Tinubu is the emperor. It is sad, but guess what? We've been talking about this for over 2 years. We've been hammering on this over 2 years. Everything that guy did in Lagos is going to put it on a national scale. Atiku mentioned it 2-3 days ago. Atiku said it, that Tinubu is replicating what he did in Lagos on a national scale. Well, Atiku, we said that before you did. We're not just coming out to say these things for saying its sake. We're coming out because we've seen it. We know this is where it's going to end. We know this is where it's heading towards. And now we're here. So David had an interview with I think News Central or thereabout. So after my conversation with David, I made a tweet and David retweeted it. So I think the News Central picked it up. The reason why I acknowledge their tweet, the video, because I had to cut that part. It's on the Jumbotron, by the way. The reason why I acknowledged that and made a tweet about it is for it to reach out to people. For it to reach out to as many people as possible, because I have no idea the amount of people that are involved, because this guy leaked a lot of information. He leaked out a lot of information. Now, back to the message the lady sent me. I'm not even sure if it's a lady or a man. I'm not sure, because all those kind of names where they Twitter, where you don't go know if not male or female. But yeah, the message goes.
Sorry, Jimmy. Real quick. David had alleged in that interview that you have legs extended all the way to inside the inner kakus of our government.
I cannot deny. I
You
can't
cannot
deny.
confirm
That thing
or
shocked
deny
me
at this
when I saw
time.
it.
I cannot deny. But I mean, it's not. I'm not sure how many people have mentioned it too. I used to be part of the system, guys. I used to be part of the system. It's a family thing. APC, my dad, and everybody.
So it's you and Karigwe, no wahala.
Now you sabi. Now you sabi.
No. Karigwe actually wanted to change Nigeria. Can you imagine how audacious?
Why
is that?
why are you calling my?
Yeah,
why are people calling
because
my name?
we
Which
knew
kind
it's
thing
not
is
the
this?
right way.
They record this place. They look and know they call my name.
How audacious
Because
is that?
we
This
knew
guy
it's not
wants
the right
to change
way to
Nigeria.
We knew it's not the right way to go. We knew, it's not life. And we wanted change at all costs. I said this many times, and people threatening me with they go arrest you, they go do this, they go do that. One thing about me is the moment I joined, I knew I was gonna burn a bridge and there's no going back. And I went all out. I didn't do it for anyone's sake. I just did it because I want the betterment of that country, and that's the honest truth. So that's one of the major reasons why I had that breakout with my dad, because he's one of them. And the beginning to say, follow your son, talk to him. We will handle him. We'll do all those kind of things. And he told me, look, if this get out of hand, I'm not coming to rescue. I said, well, I'm not coming to Nigeria anytime soon. So this is my zone. I'm going to stay here. And my intention is to make sure if I step in that country, that means a better government has taken over that country. So it's a dedicated tax for me. Sometimes I just look back and I ask myself, are you sure about this thing? But it's a Bonds Bridge. I'm not going back. I'm not going back there. So I've not been hiding. My name is all out there. My picture is out there, so they know. People are reaching out to my dad, send my post and everything. So it's not an hidden thing for me. And now he called. My dad called all his friends, not to answer me again. The ones in. Let me